Hello. Our debate today is about should companies look at prospective employees' social media profiles. The debate will include Brianna, me, Reese, and Shiken. The first slide we're looking at is reasons to check social media accounts. There are many reasons that employers check social media accounts, and there's a reason over 50% of them do. One of the first is job hunting. When you're looking at a social media account, you see what people do, what their hobbies are, what they like to do, and you can see if they switch jobs frequently. Employers definitely don't want somebody that frequently switches jobs. It's not what they're looking for because they want job security. Curation is what you put on social media depicts your life, which is very accurate, even not in the job place. I mean, every post you put shows who you are, even if people don't know you personally. So if an employer is looking at your social media account, they're going to think who you are is whatever your posts are. Checks your communication skills with others and how you comment to others. Say somebody puts a hateful comment on one of your posts, the employer is going to look at how you respond to it, because say an angry customer or even another employee has an angry comment towards you, they want to see how you might react towards it and comment back. To overall see if you're a good fit with the company. If you finish an interview and the employers are unsure if they want to hire you or not, they're going to look at your social media profile and they might actually decide based on your accounts. They want to see what you post, what you're like, and it might help them make a final decision. Social media policy. As an employer, you can check public accounts. Yeah, it's completely legal to check potential employees' accounts if they're public, not private. And also you need to check them after you've already met, so there's no potential biases towards the person. So there are a few guidelines to look at to make sure you're not doing anything wrong, but it's definitely legal and okay to check potential employee social media accounts. Adds credibility to people in public positions. Say the job itself is posting on their social media what they do, new people that they want to hire, things about the job itself. It adds credibility to the job itself and makes people want to go. Same thing with an employee or a potential employee. If you market yourself well on social media, people will want to hire you. Can see public accounts from possible employees. Same thing like I just said, you can go and see the job you're potentially interested in, what their values are, how they conduct themselves, and make your own decision with that. And as I said before, you can either get hired or even potentially not get hired because of your social media. So it's very important to be conscientious of what you put on your social media and nothing that's inappropriate for a job, especially if you're looking for a job. And now we're going to have on the next slide more real world arguments about the affirmative side.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Brianna, and today I'm going to talk about real world arguments. I believe social media is used by potential employers to 1, check job applicants' qualifications, 2, assess their professionalism and trustworthiness, 3, reveal negative attributes, and 4, determine whether they post any problematic content. Cyber venting, future for employers and conjugate workers. The Society for Human Resource Management says employers may conduct background checks on any type of workers, including freelancers performing jobs on their work site. SHRM also advises employers to refer to state laws, client relationships, and government contract requirements before conducting background checks. The laws for screening freelancers are the same laws pertaining to full-time and part-time hires, as well as volunteers. What is cyberventing? As we all know, cyberventing refers to screening job candidates by evaluating information collected from internet searches and social media profiles. User postings often presents complex problems that places a fine line between constitutional protected rights such as freedom of speech and legal necessary restrictions. Cyber vetting does not require consent. On to the next slide. Negative arguments.
I'm Shaquem. I'll be taking a negative argument. The negative argument of why companies shouldn't look at prospective employees' social media profiles could be that it can be expensive. When companies use the more protected third-party rating, employers could feel as if it amounts to privacy invasion of their social media profiles. This could cause loss of employer talent and the lack of employee trust, with employees feeling as if their job doesn't trust them and invades their privacy away from the workforce. Employers may also hesitate to view job seekers' social media profiles because they can and may stumble upon potentially discriminatory information such as gender, religion, or marital status, and somehow become biased. If companies check some employers' social media profile, they should check all, because in fact, it will not be right to only check a particular person's profile, but not others, when they also might have a negative social media presence. In conclusion, checking for employees' social media profile could prove to be negative and bring upon a lawsuit if companies use it to prevent individuals from obtaining employment. The next slide will be the negative argument with the real world application.
Hi, everyone. This is Brianna again. My negative argument for real world applications. Legally, employers want to know as little as possible about a candidate's characteristic so that no one can accuse the employer of illegal bias. Social media background checks are to be conducted formally during the background check and at the offer stage, but not at the application stage. Declining an applicants based on their social media profile may open employers to discriminatory lawsuits, and that's a no-no. It doesn't matter if an employer goal is to increase your minority or female hires. You cannot discriminate based on a race or gender for almost all positions. As you can see, Lisa McCarrick is suing the giant online retailer, claiming she was fired after raising concerns about using prospective hires' social media to figure out their race and gender. The applicant's playing field has been seriously altered, unbeknownst to them. A fair hire has been compromised due to subjective input. So now for the Q&A session.
Okay, so in the Q&A, we can start with the negative arguments. So if you guys want to go ahead and ask those.
First one, why should employers take the risk of creating applicant lawsuits?
As an employer, when you check a social media account, it is allowed. Like I said in the beginning of the debate, there is a few guidelines to follow to make sure that you don't violate any restrictions or boundaries. But if you do it after you meet the person, after you've potentially already had the interview, and so that there's no bias before you've met the person, then you shouldn't run into any lawsuits. And also there's third-party companies you can get to do it for you to even ensure more so no problems arise.
Okay, my question for you is, HR professionalism seeks software to expedite the offer and application stages. Is this a moral way to obtain fairness in the selection process?
The software that companies typically use as a third party to check the accounts, they're told what to look out for or what to look for in the account. So say you say you don't want any excessive partying in the person's social media, then the third party will use that and filter that out when they check account. So really you tell them what to look for. So it is fair. You're just not technically looking at it yourself every time.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you guys some affirmative argument questions. The first one being, all it takes is one wrong hire to diminish the brand reputation. Why would the employer take the risk?
I believe the employer would take the risk because they want to find out who they want to hire. They want to know, they just willing to take the risk because they want to know who the person is before they actually meet the person. It's some assuming that. Okay.
Okay.
And
And you got anything else, or should I ask the next one?
I do have something else actually, and I believe just want to know who the person is, so you can just not bring anybody from off the streets. Also, that's just something that some people do nowadays.
Okay.
And that I'm done.
And what if there are potential risks to the company and the applicant's social media and you don't get a third party to check it?
If there are potential risks to the company and the applicant's social media, and you don't get a third party check, then you could be more liable to lawsuits from employers, and this could cause negative press to the company and its employees.
Okay. All right. Well, that was our debate on social media used in hiring. Thank you.